Friday night and you're celebrating senior night. In your mind, what has made this senior class so special?
Well, every senior class is different, but the one thing they all have in common is that, and I give a lot of credit to Andy Slager for the type of kids he brings in here. They're all good kids. I mean, they're all quality young men. Some play more than others. Some have a bigger impact on the ice, but for me, it's about the impact they have in the locker room and in the Irish community, whether it be the community service or on campus. And I think every one of them have had a huge impact in one way or another. And I can speak on behalf of each one of them. We have our 4-year seniors, and we have some grads too that come in here, and it's been a unique thing for me with the transfer portal, having kids in there for just 1 year, developing relationships that I think I'll have for the rest of my life with some of them. But the guys that you bring in as freshmen and that stick it out for 4 years or find the way to grind it through 4 years academically, training and the practices every day, and maintaining a good or positive attitude, tells me a lot about the type of kids that we have here. And this class is no different. It's a really strong group of young men, and, I think that they all have a bright future, if not in hockey, and in life after hockey.
Sure. Obviously, you want to win every time you take the ice, but on a senior night, is it more important to you to try and get one last win for that group?
It's a double-edged sword, and I saw it happen, I think, maybe a little bit at Wisconsin last week. When you have senior night, especially when you have it before the game, sometimes focus gets a little off kilter, and I think it happened to Michigan State last Friday night as well, or last Saturday, I should say. And it's a great experience, and yet it can be a big distraction for the guys just because of family and parents coming in. And then, and just like myself, as you start thinking about it, you think about your time here, and you think about your legacy as far as how you left the program. And I think that the young guys, especially, they get emotional about it. So my big thing all week long is just reminding them to stay focused, enjoy the experience, embrace it, but just make sure when they drop the puck that we're dialed in and ready to play, because we're playing a team that's, one of the top teams in the country.
For sure. That'll definitely get their attention. As far as you're concerned, what do you anticipate this weekend might be like for you in terms of emotions, or just I'm curious kind of what's going through your head?
It's built over the week just by getting calls from people, some people that are going to be here, some that are not able to attend. I expect a lot of our alums to be here. I expect some of my Lake Superior State alums, from what I understand, are coming in as well. I have family and friends, a lot of people coming in. It's not my last game,
right?
But it is our last game here at the Compton Arena. And it will probably hit me, when the game's over. I'm trying to let it not become a distraction to me. As I've told you about our players, I'm trying to make sure that our focus is on, playing well, and our focus is on our seniors, because in reality, this is their weekend, not mine. Mm-hmm. This may be my last couple games here at the Compton, but it's more about our guys in the senior class, and I want them to enjoy it, embrace it. I will just naturally, just because I've kind of done that throughout the year a bit, is kind of reflect, and every time I'm in this building is just enjoying the environment here, the band, the student section, and our great fans. I mean, we have an incredible environment here. Thanks to Jack Swarbrick and the Compton family, we have this awesome facility, but it's the people within the facility that really bring it to life. Mm-hmm. And that's something I will miss.
And this building wasn't here when you started 20 years ago, and I think you're one of the big reasons why it's here now. And because it's your last game in this building, how important has this facility become to your program in helping bring it to where it is now?
Well, it certainly made a big impact on our recruiting. Playing at the Joyce was all well and good. I mean, sometimes you have to grit it out, and we were okay over there, But the thing is, in today's world, it's all about what's bright and shiny. And, this facility, when it was built the right way. It was built the right size. Every aspect of it is almost perfect. The Comptons did an incredible job, and probably will continue to, embrace making sure this facility stays where it needs to. But for me, it's been a big reason why we've had success, and I've enjoyed every minute of my time at the Compton and at Notre Dame specifically.
You said you've spent time this season and this week reflecting. Is there one thing or a few things that you're most proud of accomplishing over the last 20 years?
You know, you could point out certain games, certain victories. You could point out different groups, you know, different senior classes, different leadership. You know, I develop relationships with all of our guys. I have closer relationships with our goalies at times because I coach them on a regular basis. I have a closer relationship with our captains because I communicate to them more regularly than everyone else. And those guys stick out in my mind. I mean, some of my brightest and fondest moments are, you know, just seeing Jake Evans earlier this year when we were playing in Chicago. You know, he made the effort to come down and watch us practice. You know, Montreal was playing the Blackhawks, and you know, seeing Landon have the success he's having, watching Anders Lee, Brian Russ, watching Ian Cole, all these guys, you know, living their dreams, that means more to me than anything.
20 years is a long time anywhere. What's been so special about Notre Dame that you haven't wanted to go anywhere else?
It's a unique place. You know, it's got a life of its own. Again, it's probably more about the people. The people make the environment here, you know. And I was very fortunate to be here during the time that Father John Jenkins was the president. The whole time I was here for the most part, and then Jack Swarbrick, obviously Kevin White was instrumental early on, and Pete Bavacqua more recently here. But like Jack saw the vision, you know, he knew what my vision was. He saw what our vision was. He knew, as I knew, that hockey could be relevant here at Notre Dame. And for the majority of my time here, it has been relevant. It's been one of the top programs in the country for probably 17 of my 20 years. And you know, the thing is, it needs to get back in the right direction again. And I think, you know, for me, having Brock here makes it that much more rewarding for me because he's part of my legacy. And, you know, I think he's going to do an incredible job. And I'm hoping that, you know, that I'll be there watching him when they win that first national championship, if it's not this year.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you will be if it's not this year. I know this year hasn't gone the way you hoped for it to. That's not a secret. But do you take satisfaction in knowing that regardless of that, you're leaving this program in a better position than you probably found it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel there's any doubt about that. I mean, between the facilities, the staff, our culture, you know, even though we've struggled, I think the culture's still there. The strength of the guys, the type of kids that we have here. It hasn't gone the way I wanted it to, but on the other side is we still have time. Yeah. You know, and as long as we're playing, I'll still have that dream that we can do something. And, you know, for me, it's, you know, it's time to move on. I'm not a fan of what's going on in college athletics or college hockey. But, you know, they say, you know, adapt or die. Well, I'm moving on. I'm not going to die, but I think it's time. I found it hard to adapt, and I still do. You know, I think that, you know, getting an $80,000 scholarship at the University of Notre Dame is payment enough to play hockey here. Whether it be any other sport, you know, it's immaterial to me. And I do believe kids have the right to make, you know, money on their own name, image, and likeness. The transfer portal certainly having a huge impact on the sport. The CHL opening up to college hockey. A lot of change, not just within athletics, but within college hockey itself. And I just, you know, pray and hope that it doesn't have a negative impact on programs like I started at Lake Superior State. Sure. Because the money's talking, and, you know, those schools, in order to compete, you know, finances make it difficult for some programs. And I just hope that those schools like Lake State and, you know, teams that, you know, may have never won championships at the Division I level in any sport, those teams like Bowling Green and Minnesota Duluth, I mean, smaller programs that are big in hockey, you know, and I just hope those programs survive all this and, you know, the college hockey grows and, you know, doesn't go backwards.